Now, I request Professor Doungel to take his time. Professor Doungel.
Okay. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, audible. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman of the technical session, Professor P. Renoma, for giving me the privilege. And at the outset, I would like to express my appreciation to HRDC, particularly the director and her team, for organizing this auspicious program for principals of different colleges within Mizoram. And as we know, for qualitative improvement, principals of different colleges, they have important role. And as our chairman has already mentioned, university, we get feeder from college get it from higher secondary, then higher secondary from high school, then middle school and primary school. So all states of learning from primary up to university are interconnected, are interlinked. And due to that, and in this regard, college principals have very important role. And I'll be focusing on significance of quality assurance cell. That means internal quality assurance cell for accreditation of higher educational institutions in India. So that will be the topic for our deliberation today. And as has been highlighted by our chairperson and director, I just returned from my Fulbright program from United States. I stayed here for 7.5 months. Actually, it was 9 months program, but I could manage to finish it within 7 months, and I requested for early return due to engagement here and due to family related problem. And I reached back here on 10 November. And I work on the studies of indigenous people. My study is focused on constitutional safeguards of indigenous people, and that is comparative analysis of the Native Americans under the Constitution of United States of America and tribals under the provision of 6th Schedule to the Constitution of India. So it is comparative analysis about the indigenous people of India, particularly Northeast India, and indigenous people of America under the respective constitutional system. And as we have other technical sessions also, to do justice and to maintain time, I think it's better to start on the topic. And as I've mentioned, our focus on the role of quality assurance cell for accreditation of higher education institutions in India. And for quality improvement, for quality sustenance, and for any quality related work, the role of the principal is very important. For college and for any institution to some extent depends upon the responsibility of head of the institution, whether it be in university, college, high school, primary school, or middle school. So whether the college is marching ahead or the college is backtracking, the principals, they have their own role. So for this quality assurance thing also, quality related thing also, the principals are solely responsible. And we'll deliberate on that today. And starting with the introduction, I may not use PPT. So it is principals coming together, I feel that it is better to interact in lecture method. And as we know, the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, is an autonomous institution established by University Grants Commission, UGC, with its headquarters at Bangalore in 1994. And this NAAC, how NAAC came up? NAAC has been established as a result of the Program of Action of 1992 and National Education Policy of 1986 for sustenance and maintenance of quality in higher educational institutions. And the main factor behind the emergence of NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, is enhancement of quality in higher education. And in this regard, NAAC's main responsibility is to inspect, assess, and accredit higher education in the whole country. So the main responsibility and the main work of NAAC is to inspect, assess, and accredit higher education institutions, namely affiliated colleges, constituent colleges, autonomous colleges, deemed to be universities, and universities across the country. And NAAC acts as the main responsible academic body for initiating quality, the required quality in higher education. And this establishment of NAAC has promoted quality among the higher education institutions in India. And NAAC has contributed a lot in this regard also. And the establishment of NAAC has many advantages, and there are many positive points for establishment of NAAC. Up till now, whether it be the student community, social workers, politicians, academicians, journalists, writers, or people from different streams, there is no much negative comment about this establishment of an activity of NAAC. And with regard to this NAAC, the methodology for inspection, assessment, and accreditation of higher education institution also has been changed from time to time. Methodology is frequently changing now, and today there will be deliberation lecture on this National Education Policy also. And with the introduction of this new NEP, it has some impact on this NAAC accreditation also that we will come to know afterwards. So NAAC has played very important and very constructive role for maintenance, sustenance, and pursuance of quality in higher education institution all over India. And how this quality assurance cell emerged. As already mentioned, University Grants Commission main emphasis is to sustain and maintain quality in higher educational institution. And to fulfill that objective, National Assessment and Accreditation Council has been established as an autonomous body. And other than this National Assessment and Accreditation Council, there are other professional associations which also works and assess and accredit institutions in different forms, such as All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, National Council for Teachers Education, NCTE, Medical Council of India, MCI, Indian Nursing Council, INC, Bar Council of India, BCI, Rehabilitation Council of India, RCI, Distance Education Council, DEC, Indian Council of Education Agricultural Research, ICAR. Those are some other apex educational body which are also involved in assessment and accreditation of institutions other than NAAC. And this establishment of internal quality assurance cell or quality assurance cell can be unequivocally be cited as innovative mission of NAAC. For what? For maintenance of quality and sustenance of quality. And in every higher educational institution, as we know, quality is to be maintained, quality is to be sustained, then different works are required to be done for maintenance of quality. And who has to do that work? That work is performed by internal quality assurance cell, IQAC. Whether it be in college, whether it be in autonomous college, deemed to be university or university. This quality assurance cell, internal quality assurance cell, IQAC, has a very special role for maintenance of quality in the higher educational institution. As we are aware, once any higher educational institution is assessed and accredited by NAAC, that is not permanent. That is only for 5 years term. So to say, just one MLA term or one MP term. And after that, re-accreditation is to be applied and done again after the expiry of 5 years. If not, accreditation status of the college will expire. One sorry figure to mention is that in Mizoram now, many colleges cannot maintain their accreditation. Some, their accreditation has already been invalidated almost 10 years, some more than 5 years, and some less than 5 years. So this is ongoing activity. Even if we do it properly, we do it fine once, but if that is not maintained and that is not sustained, it has no value at all. So NAAC activity, quality related activity, it is ongoing activity. It should go on without stop. And as I've mentioned, this IQAC in every college and university, it is responsible for maintenance of quality, sustenance of quality, and for doing all the needful work with regard to quality maintenance. That is the responsibility of IQAC. And in this regard, this IQAC committee is to be formed in every college and university, whether it be accredited college, constituent college, autonomous college, deemed to be university or university. It is a must and mandatory to form this committee. And the tenure of the committee is for 2 years, and composition and formation of the committee has been clearly laid down in the guidelines. I think this need not be mentioned because most of the colleges and the principals, you have these experiences, and I feel that it is not necessary to mention all those what you have known already and to waste time. And in this IQAC, whether it be in college or university, in college there is coordinator, in university or deemed to be university there are director, then head of the institution is chairman of the committee in college, then in university vice chancellor is chairman of the committee. And in this committee, the composition of the committee comprised of people from different background, from bureaucracy, from civil societies, then from different walks of life. And having said that, these IQAC committees are comprised of people from different backgrounds. There are some members from the institution itself. And those persons, those faculty who are appointed as member of this IQAC should be exemplary to others, whether it be in teaching, learning, whether it be in research and publication, then in all walks of life, that they should be able to, and they may be able to be exemplary to others. So that is as per the guideline. Okay, we'll move on to the third point, essentiality of capacity building for qualitative growth. So another main responsibility of this quality assurance share and another main responsibility of the institution is maintenance of capacity building. Capacity building for what? Capacity building for qualitative growth. And this capacity building means building up capacity of the higher education institution, but capacity of the institution will not be automatically built up by itself. Then how to build up the capacity of the institution? Capacity of the institution can be built up by building up capacity of the faculty, non-teaching staff, students, and other stakeholders. A good institution can indeed be built up only by well-qualified and talented and committed faculty. If a flock of dull and lazy faculty may never build up any qualitative institution. So this capacity building firstly focus upon the faculty of the institution. In this regard, improvement in teaching, learning, research and publication, academic pursuit, and personality of the teaching community should be focused. And as far as practicable, what the NAAC expects and what the assessment and accreditation expects also, the faculty member of higher education institution should be resourceful enough. To be resourceful enough, one should be specialist in his own field. One should be specialist in such a way that he or she should be worthy to be consulted. He or she should be worthy to be advisor in his or her own specialized area. And in this regard, one thing that I would like to mention more is that unresourceful and undynamic teacher cannot draw attention of the students themselves and cannot draw attention of the society also. Due to that, faculty members of universities and colleges are required to update themselves with the latest academic environment and changes happening, which are automatic outcome of the present globalized world. So, qualitative improvement and hard efforts of the faculty member in higher education institution is required for building up capacity of the institution. So this capacity building mainly focus upon building up capacity of the institution. If faculty of the college or university do constructive contribution in the area of his or her research and do a lot of contribution in publication and other good works, that is not personal achievement, not only for the faculty, but collectively it is an achievement for the institution. And in such a way, the institution also will benefit from such contribution, and in turn the society also may be able to benefit it. And other than the faculty, this capacity building also focus upon building up the capacity of administrative staff. In case of college, university, like administrative officers. Then in case of colleges, non-teaching staff. Then building up the capacity of the students. So all these combined together, building up capacity of the faculty member, building up capacity of the administrative officer, building up capacity of the non-teaching staff, and building up capacity of the students. When all these combine together, and when all these efforts can be achieved, then capacity of the institution, capacity of the higher educational institution will be automatically built up. And in this regard, NAAC guideline has focused on 5 core values: contributing to national development, fostering global competencies among students, inculcating a value system among students, promoting the use of technology, then quest for excellence. Contributing to national development. As I've mentioned, if any faculty member does exceptionally well in her own specialized area, there is contribution not only to the institution, there is contribution to the state and to the nation at large, and even to the international level. In such a way, in inculcating knowledge to the students also, this global competency should be achieved. This global competency should be focused. From the inaugural speech of our chief guest, we have heard that now in university we have got some application from foreign students, and afterwards our chief guest also has mentioned that these even colleges can now expect foreign students. So that is global competency. We should be ready for that, and we should work for that also. Then inculcating value system among students. We are now in globalized world. We are now in 21st century, but value system, imparting value system to students, this is not outdated. Then promoting the use of technology, then quest for excellence, all this we know. And in this regard, from my experience after my Fulbright program in United States, out there, the education pattern is in such a way that more scope has been given so that students will focus more on excellence in their respective field and respective specialized area. So generally, capacity building is the focus. It is the focus of NAAC, and in the new national education policy, which is to be implemented a short while ago from now also, this is one of the focus area. Okay, we'll move on to the next point. Significance of quality assurance agency for continuous improvement. How is the significance of quality assurance cell? what are the significant points of internal quality assurance share, IQAC, of respective colleges, autonomous college, constituent college, deemed to be university, and university. As I've mentioned, for sustenance, maintenance, and continuation of quality, every institution has important part to play. And on behalf of the institution, on behalf of the college or university, that part has been played by internal quality assurance cell. And in this regard, head of the institution, whether principal or vice chancellor, should know the significance and the importance of this quality assurance cell. So the role of this IQAC we shall discuss in the following points. First, another agency for quality related activities. So IQAC of every institution, quality assurance share of every institution is another agency for quality related activities. As has been mentioned already, the focus of national policy of education is to ensure and assure quality education with accountability. And the only method to achieve this twin objective is to assess and accredit the higher education institution as per the latest guideline of NAAC. And one of the major effective methods in assessment, diagnosis, and accreditation of these institutions is SWOT analysis. That means strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. But this SWOT, it is now changed into SWOT. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat is now changed into strength, weakness, opportunity, and challenge. It is no longer threat, it is only challenge. So what are the strengths of the institution? That should be identified first. What strength has the institution? And on the basis of that strength, more focus should be given. Then what are the weak points? The weakness. The weakness should be highlighted. And from that weak points and weakness, what improvements are required? For that, good planning should be made. And on the basis of the planning, that should be implemented. Then, what opportunity the institution has? So, focusing on the strength, focusing on the weakness. From this, what type of opportunities should be taken by the institution? And at last, with all this strength, weakness, and opportunity, challenges should be faced by the institution. Earlier, it was put as threat, but it is now changed into challenge. So, all those shortcomings should not be taken as threat, but it should be taken as challenge, and that challenge should be boldly faced by the institution. In such a way, quality related works can be done. The required quality related things can be performed, and institution may be able to move ahead. And with regard to the role of this IQAC, Professor S.P. Thigaranjan Committee has recommended to UGC in 2000 9 that all promotion related files and all promotion related things of faculty of the institution should be processed through IQAC of the institution. And this recommendation of Professor Thigaranjan committee was accepted by UGC in toto. And in this regard, notification was issued by UGC on 23rd September 2009 by Dr. R.K. Chauhan, who was secretary of the UGC at that time. And after that, it was published in the Gazette of India in 2009. Then after that, this all promotion related files and work of the institution has been entrusted to IQAC. And in such a way, even UGC also recognized the significance of this quality assurance cell. And in many institutions, like in Central University, it is mandatory for us, because teachers in Central Universities are regularly assessed by students, that we call students' feedback. That also has been done by Autonomous College, DMTB University, and many private institutions. And a time may come when all higher education institutions, including affiliated colleges, may follow these students' feedback. And in one way, it is also helpful for maintenance of quality. And these students' feedback of teachers in many institutions also has been managed and maintained by IQAC. Okay, point number 2, planner and innovator of the higher educational institution future. And all accredited institutions, all higher educational institutions which have this quality assurance cell will submit self-review progress report annually to NAAC. And for the higher education institutions which are already accredited, annual quality assurance report, what we call AQAR, is to be submitted annually by the end of academic year to NAAC headquarters Bangalore. I think all of you are aware of it. And if some of the principals are not yet aware, you should be aware of it also. And this AQAR is AQAR from accredited institution should be annually submitted to NAAC headquarters Bangalore. And the main work for this also has been done by IQAC only, quality assurance cell only. But even if there are coordinator and director in the quality assurance cell, if there is not good backing from head of the institution, this quality assurance cell will be totally handicapped. In this regard, the role of the principal is very important. Principal has to motivate them, principal has to encourage them, and principal has to guide them. They should not be left alone in their own way. They should be motivated. In such a way, role of the head of the institution is very significant and very important. And in this annual quality assurance report AQAR, like all requirements as per NAAC guidelines are annually submitted. And one thing that we have to know is that with regard to this submission of IQAR also, what we have submitted, it will be used for the next accreditation, for the next self-study report. Due to that, whatever is claimed and submitted in this IQAR, it should be done carefully. It should not be done just for the sake of doing. Because once something is claimed and submitted in IQAR, we all should be aware that that should be used for the next accreditation, for the next self-study report. And due to that, this should be done carefully. And one request that I would like to make to all the principals is that whatever your NAC coordinator has done, don't leave everything to them. Please kindly revise them, review them, discuss with them, and whatever they do, you should also know them. You should also be aware of what your coordinator and your quality assurance has done. You also need to update yourself for what development the college has done. And for this IQAR also, what I have already mentioned, that is SWOT analysis is intensively used. Strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. All that analysis has been used. And in this regard, this quality assurance cell, it is the main planner and innovator of the future of the institution. So the institution moves and the institution progress in line with the planning and the forecast which has been made by the quality assurance cell. And point number 3, to activate the higher educational institution in the right perspective. As we know, quality assurance is the ipso facto norms in the functioning of IQAC. Due to that, IQAC has to perform the tasks which are assigned to it. So, in what manner the institution has to grow? In what way institution has to move forward? In what regard institution needs improvement? That should be focused by quality assurance cell of the college and university. And IQAC also has to ensure that whatever works to be done in the institution should be done efficiently and effectively with high standard. And in order to achieve this, the quality assurance cell has to establish procedure and modalities to collect data and information on various aspects of institutional functioning. So, our weak point, the weak point of many of the colleges in Mizoram, then in other states also, is record keeping, file maintenance, then this filing and proper maintenance of activities. We may have done a lot of work, but to the work which we have done, there should be proper evidence. That is very important during accreditation process. When I visited some college as NAC 30 member or so, that was the drawback which could be found with some colleges. They did some work very good. They actually perform, but documentary proof and record keeping, that is generally the weak point. So whatever activities or whatever works we have done, there should be proper maintenance. There should be proper maintenance of record. We'll move to the next point. To establish rapport with alumni, parents, funding agency, and well-wishers of the higher educational institution. The quality assurance here also has to ensure continuous improvement of the entire operation of the institution. So it has to mobilize and coordinate agencies which are responsible for promotion and sustenance of quality in the higher educational institution. And in this regard, the higher educational institution, particularly quality assurance share, has to establish good rapport with alumni, good rapport with parents, funding agencies, and well-wishers of the institution. So in NAAC guidelines and in NAAC assessment also, the role of these stakeholders are really important and very significant also. These like alumni, parents, funding agencies. And in colleges, if you have alumni association, that is well and good. Try to mobilize it further and let them have some contribution for the institution also. Not only association of the alumni, even these parents association, parents also, they can play important role. And to colleges which have not yet formed or mobilized alumni association, you should do something to form alumni association at the earliest. Because if you do not have proper alumni association, you may face a tough time when you face NAAC accreditation or re-accreditation. And yes, we know certain things can be done in paperwork, but as per NAAC guideline, paperwork which cannot be found in reality, it is very risky, and such type of risk should not be taken. Due to that, the humble advice which I would like to give to fellow head of the institution is that if you do not have proper alumni association, appropriate steps should be taken up so that alumni association should be formed, activated, and mobilized. That is for the good of the college. Okay, value framework for students. Any institution is student focused, as we know. Institution can be established, institution is going on, and institution can be run only because of the main stakeholders, the students. Likewise, the central focus of the higher education institution in India is also student focus. So the entire system of functioning of higher education institution in India is to develop students' personality and their future utility. So in this regard, higher education institution has to undertake student support and progress is the main focus area. Like any college or university may have good building, good seminar hall, good conference hall. There may be good gymnasium, classroom, and many updated infrastructure and all. But despite all this good infrastructure, if the focus on the student is lacking, all those good institutions, good infrastructure, and all those good building may not do the required expectation, may not perform the required work which it has to perform. So focus upon the student, that should be the prime objective of higher education institution. Therefore, quality improvement, personality development of the student should be the focus of higher educational institution. In such a way, active participation of students for institution activity should be focused, and that should also be monitored. In this regard, the IQAC can take steps for introducing innovative programs for improving the quality and standard of the students. Likewise, constructive opinion of the students must also be accommodated while planning such programs. And out of the 5 core values which NAC has highlighted, 4 out of the 5 core values are student-centric, like fostering global competency among students, inculcating a value system among students, promoting the use of technology, and quest for excellence. In order to inculcate students to be able to compete and to be able to participate at the global level, every focus of the institution should be student-centric and student-focused. Okay, we'll move on to the next point, that is examination reform. And with regard to this examination, as we know, college has negligible role. But despite that, still there are some roles which can also be focused and which can also be activated by the by the colleges. And this examination, it means not only the main examination of the annual examination or semester examination, but it also includes all internal examination like test, assignment, presentation, project report, and all. And in this regard also, IQAC can do some constructive work. As we know, with regard to colleges, the main examination has been managed and it is being monitored from university. But like college can adopt some good practices which can also be shown and claimed during NAC visit and in self-study report in the form of like Monday test, unit test, assignment, terminal examination, project work, internal examination, timely conduct of internal examination and all. In such a way, forecast plan can be made by the IQAC, initiative can be taken, and which should be entrusted to the examination committee of the institution. And in such a way, those good practices from examination which the institution has adopted, which the institution has modeled, that can be claimed as good practices even during NAC visit. So the thing which we regard as very simple, not that serious, seems to be very serious and very important so far as NAC related work is concerned. So in any NAC related work or quality related work, there is no simple or there is no unimportant work. All the work which we do and all the steps which we have taken, it has its own positive consequences for overall quality related activities of the colleges that we should not forget. Due to that, there is no such thing as very simple or very unuseful. All things are important and useful for quality related matter. Okay, the next point, involvement of students in quality assessment. Involvement of students in quality assessment is required for enhancement of quality in the institution. So NAC guidelines have recommended collection of feedback from students, because feedback of students, feedback of teachers by students, assessment of teachers by students, it is now regarded as one of the important components for qualitative maintenance of any educational institution. And as I've already mentioned, in Central University, we are now bound and it is mandatory. It is mandatory in Central University that all teachers should be assessed and all teachers should be given certain remarks by students annually, what we call student feedback of teachers. And this has been done annually in all Central Universities. And the exercise is being monitored by IQAC. But after pandemic, we cannot do it as we ought to do, because the whole activity has been disturbed by pandemic. Before that, we could do it regularly, but now we are handicapped because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Whatever it is, this assessment of teachers by students, it is regular activity in all Central Universities and in all private institutions also. And a time may come, even it will be mandatory for affiliated colleges also. A time may come. And my experience from United States of America is that out there, these particularly in private universities and all, the continuity of faculty in their posts totally depend upon feedback by students. On the basis of feedback by students, their continuity in their respective post has been decided. So throughout the world, this assessment of teachers by students, it is generally experienced and generally done, and it is regarded as one of the best methods for maintenance and sustenance of quality. And NAAC also has focused upon it, and in this regard, in every institution, the responsibility has been entrusted to the quality assurance cell. Okay, only 2 more points are left. Now, encouragement of research and publications. Research is the best available means for building up capacity of faculty members of the institution. For example, any faculty who works in higher educational institution, whether it be affiliated college, constituent college, autonomous college, deemed to be university or university, research is unavoidable. Research is a must. Because teachers of higher education institutions, they are not teachers of primary school. They are not teachers of middle school, high school, or higher secondary. So once a teacher is teacher of higher educational institution, research is mandatory. And in this regard, principals of the colleges should also know how to motivate and how to pursue, how to push their faculty to be engaged in research. And those of the faculty who already got their doctorate degree, they should not be just satisfied with their doctorate degree, but they should be motivated and encouraged to be involved more in research-related work and in publication, because that is important and necessary for institution also. And in NAAC assessment and in NAAC accreditation also, this is one of the most important criteria. This is one of the most important criteria. If any institution has faculty member who has good research work, good publication, and good academic output that gives good name to the college, and the institution also has benefited from it. But in many colleges, particularly in many colleges, and many principals do not know the value of research. So it should be more focused. Research-related work should be more focused if the institution is to be pushed forward. If not, institution will be stagnant. And for particularly for university, for college also it is important, but for university, teaching and research should go 50-50. For example, if someone is university teacher, if he involved only in teaching but nil in research, that means that is imbalanced growth, that is handicap growth. Likewise, for college also, this teaching and research should go hand in hand. For healthy academic growth, this teaching and research should go hand in hand, should go together. And that is also the main focus of NAAC. That is also one of the most important point which has been given importance by NAAC. And in this regard, in order to motivate and in order to encourage the faculty member to be involved in research, to be involved in publication, to be involved in academic work, necessary steps and necessary requirements should be done by head of the institution, and initiative also should be taken by the quality assurance cell. For example, one thing that we have to observe is that for many in colleges, for example, sometimes it seems it is the notion that many they regard obtaining PhD as the end of learning. But obtaining PhD degree, it is only the beginning of research. We should be aware of that. So if we regard PhD as the end of learning, that means there will be no much contribution to the society. There will be no much contribution to the state and to the nation at large. So why the NAB focus on national contribution? The NAB focus on national contribution, expecting us to focus and contribute more from our own respective specialized area with regard to research and publication, which can be benefited by the society, by the state, and the nation at large. And this is also one of the main focus area of NAB, and it is also very important in NAB guideline. And like there are many funding agencies like UGC, ICSSR, ICHR, and for those faculty from science background, there are many other scopes. There are many other funding agencies and many other scopes. Those should be explored, and principal of the respective colleges should motivate and encourage their faculty member to claim and to apply for those work. And if some faculty member from the college and institution can do research project, that is also a plus point for the college, that we should be aware of it. Okay, the last point, to practically initiate AQAR. How this AQAR should be practically initiated? Yes, we know annual quality assurance report has been annually submitted to NAC headquarters Bangalore by all accredited higher education institutions by the end of every academic year, academic session. And the point here is that whatever has been claimed, whatever has been highlighted, and whatever has been focused in this AQAR, which is submitted to NAC headquarters Bangalore, that should also be practically done by the institution. So if the claim and submission of the institution in the AQAR is practically done, then at least some improvement and some quality additions will be there for the institution. Due to that, whatever claims and whatever written statement that are submitted to NAC headquarters Bangalore annually should also be practically performed and should also be practically done by the institution for growth of the institution. And in this regard also, head of the institution is very important. The IQAC team, the coordinator may do certain plan, may prepare certain plan, but if it is not motivated and if it is not backed up by head of the institution, whatever IQAC has done, it is meaningless. Due to that, whatever steps submission made by IQAC should also be implemented and should also be practically done in the right manner, how the institution will be benefiting it by head of the respective institution. So in today's deliberation, we deliberated on establishment of NAC. As we know, NAC has been established way back in 1994 by UGC as autonomous body to assess and accredit higher education institutions all over India for a period of 5 years. And after the establishment of NAC, we can see a lot of improvement, because due to this NAC exercise, many colleges and universities, all the colleges and universities, they are compelled to work for quality improvement. And this compulsion to work for quality improvement has achieved a lot of quality related improvement. And this, we can say that it is actually the contribution of NAC. And this speedy transformation of quality enhancement from pre-accreditation stage to re-accreditation, then subsequent accreditation are really benefited to higher educational institutions in India. And in this regard, Quality Assurance Cell has done a lot of Herculean tasks, and in all the higher educational institutions, this achievement can be done, and this can be achieved only due to the efforts and only due to the ongoing activity of the IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. And as I've said, now methodology has been changed almost every year now. One thing that I would like to add is that Mizoram University, we faced our re-accreditation in 2019. And after that, in 2020, when we worked for this first submission of AQAR, many changes took place. In such a way, from time to time, this change in the methodology, change in the pattern, it is ongoing. So we should keep ourselves, and we should brace ourselves, and we should update ourselves. And in this regard, the Quality Assurance Cell has important role to play. And as I've mentioned a number of times, Quality Assurance Cell cannot do things by itself. Quality Assurance Cell every time requires the backing, motivation, and help of head of the institution. Without head of the institution, without motivation of the head of the institution, Quality Assurance Cell cannot work. So the joint efforts of head of the institution and Quality Assurance Cell is a must, and it is the need of the hour for quality improvement of the institution and for quality related movement of the institution. So with this, let me conclude my lecture, and now I'll hand it over to our moderator.